Today we're going to turn that old horse trailer into a mobile walk-in cooler. Let's get it done. First thing we're going to do is take the horse trailer and strip out the horse trailer only stuff so that we're left with a box about 4 by 6. So we're going to have this box here be the cooler, and then over here is the compartment where we'll end up mounting the actual AC unit. Okay, so we have the back of the trailer emptied out. A couple of the bolts were passing through from the outside, and rather than messing with the carriage bolts and the one that's underneath here, I used a sawzall with a metal blade. Just take it down so that we have flush walls. So now we have flush walls, flush floor, and now it's time to think about how to close up some of these gaps and to get the insulation in. So I blocked in the windows, and I used just 1/2-inch plywood because that's what I had laying around. But if I had used 1-inch plywood, or the, on your trailer, whatever the thickness of that is, it would have been nifty. But we use that, and then to attach it in place, mending brackets and some self-tapping screws where we had to go through metal. Once I'm 100% sure that this is how we're going to do it, I will go ahead and caulk in that little crack there. I could have got it to fit tighter, but I wasn't sure if it was flat all the way, and so I left a 1/8 or so. Sloppy job, but we took some spray foam insulation and sprayed it into the cracks from the inside, and I'll worry about getting the outside done later. So we got the extruded polystyrene. I'm going to use 2-inch panels here. I'm going to go up about 5.5 feet, and then we'll put the roof on it. Got the sides cut, and I'm going to actually feed some Reflectix over the top and around the backs to help in case we get a little condensation up here, so that it'll run off and have a chance to get down and then shed vertically down the panels. All right, we'll get that on there, and I'll show you what it looks like. Attaching the 2-inch rigid foam with a washer and just a 3-inch deck screw. That's because behind here we have wood that I can go into, and that wall is not completely level, so I'm not going to use adhesive. But if you had a completely flat trailer, you could just adhesive it to the side. I'm going just enough to hold it in place, and then I'll probably tape those over afterwards. Okay, so we have the insulation panels with the Reflectix over the top. And key point here, I made the mistake of putting in the side before the roof, and then of course I had to take the side off because the roof wouldn't fit because I have it jammed so tightly there. But definitely snug. But anyways, I will cut the side, leave it down so that you can fit and work this up, get it over the top. I have this over the top here for water, for structural, and then also for watershed purposes. That way if it's run off the side here, it's not going to go inside with my product. So we've got the sides and ceiling boxed in. The 2 challenges left are the door and where we're going to mount the window unit. So we're going to take a break from the insulation, figure out what we're going to do with the AC unit. So I have here an old one that we're stripping down. And so the basic strategy, I'm going to take it apart, and then I need to isolate the power to the compressor, which is that piece, and then I may or may not use the blower on the actual unit, but I need to be able to switch those on and off from my own thermostat. So there we go. We'll figure out how that works. Okay, so this says compressor on it. This is the power from the outlet coming in here, going through this box, which who knows what that is. Some kind of capacitor, hopefully not. And then it runs down into there, and those 2 wires come out of here. So I'm thinking, if I can test my theory, that if I wire nut this to this, then anytime the power is on, the compressor will be on. And once I have that step, then it's easy. I can just set a thermostat that shuts power on and off, and that will control the compressor. Okay, so not recommended with something that's not a very old, unusable AC unit, and
Normally you would want to read the instruction manual and whatnot, but I followed the wires, and so as you can see on the control board, there was wires labeled medium, low, and then a black one called high to the fan, which I followed to the fan. And so I cut the wire and attached it into, this is the power inlet supply. There's the one going to the fan, and you can hear that it is running on high. And then, like I said, I took the compressor wire that was labeled compressor and hardwired it into the power. So now, when it's on, it is running the fan on high and the compressor on high, which might be okay, but I think what I'm going to end up doing is I will have the fan hardwired to always run, maybe, and then the compressor will be wired into a thermostat switch. But let me tell you, it definitely is blowing cold. All right, so that was a success. Hit the like button if you like that. I've heard that's a good thing on YouTube. Or leave a comment if you have information about like how my compressor is going to burn out prematurely. Don't do that until you see an update from me in like a year or so that says it's still running. I think everything is hooked the way it should be. All right, there we go.
And that's part one. I'm gonna upload. If you like the content and want to see what happens as I finish the project, press subscribe. If you have suggestions for how to finish things out and solve those last two problems, leave them in the comments.